Hi, John Mayfield. And first and foremost, thanks so much for attending the Luxury Summit in Dallas, Texas. And again, my apologies that I had some presentation issues with my internet and remote control, and everything else seemed to go off the chart. But anyway, as promised, I want to give you my presentation, and let's kind of jump right into that now so that we won't waste any time. So my title of the presentation is The Digital Concierge Turning Technology into a Luxury Client Experience. Now imagine, if you would, that it's the middle of the night and you are sound asleep. And while you're sleeping, whether it's right there in the city that you live in or it's another city, someone is online looking at properties that you have who might have an interest in working with you. And you've been able to do this by using AI to not only find the right type of client in whatever country you are marketing to, the specific demographic, the person that would be the ideal customer or client for the property you're trying to sell, but even showing your social media ads or your direct marketing at the right time of the day and to the right audience. And we can do that today already with several various types of platforms that are out there. Not only can you turn your text into video in minutes, but you can target specific consumers anywhere around the world. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, or basically some new ideas and ways that you can use the internet to not only stand out and be different, but to market to those clients and customers anywhere in the world using some really cool tools that I will show you, as well as incorporating AI and many other types of platforms. Now, we are in this world where it's open 24/7, and by using the internet, you can either embrace it and change with it, or you can get left behind. So I know you want to catch the train and you want to be on the online marketing bandwagon. And so that's what I want to share with you today. Now, I know I'm going to be talking a lot about technology, and I'm going to be talking about things you can do online and social media, but I want you to understand first and foremost that your sphere of influence is a huge part of your business. And so I don't want you to think that I'm trying to say online marketing is the only avenue you should use, okay? Uh, Full disclaimer and disclosure, you need to work your contacts. If you're in new construction or new builds, you need to work with the developers and with their team at the site. But you also can use online marketing to do some great things. I remember a few years ago, I was sitting at a conference and there was a gentleman there who was talking about YouTube videos and posting online. And his name was Patrick Almond. I still remember his name. And Patrick said one thing that really resonated with me, because I'm sitting there in the conference and I'm thinking, John Mayfield, you've blown it. You've really blown it. And here's what Patrick Almond said. Kind of similar to this phrase I have on the screen, but done beats perfection every time. You see, I'm always trying to do things perfect, and we really have to understand the fact that we've got to get the content out there. And I don't want you to think that it has to be perfect. And I don't want you to think what sometimes my mind wants to go to, because it's never too late to begin. And we can always continue to try to do something different, bolder, and newer. So if you're ready for success, where do we start? Well, let's start right now. Now, during my presentation in Dallas, I talked about this, and many of you quickly said that's a zip code, which I was really glad you said that. And it is the wealthiest zip code in the U.S., Fisher Island in Florida. It overtook Atherton, California as the top zip code. But with direct marketing, we can advertise to those zip codes. We can also market to those zip codes using online marketing or paid ads or social media. And so a lot of times the question I want to ask my audience is the fact that, are you hitting the target? And I want you to hit the target because we need to be more specific about who we're trying to market to. So how do we do this, John? I mean, how do we find the right market? And I related my example to one of my mentors that I listen to a lot via podcasting and have read many of his books, and his name is Dan Kennedy. And Dan Kennedy tells us we need to know who it is we want to do business with. In fact, Dan uses a triangle. And on the triangle, Dan says there are three different parts to the product. Whatever product we want to sell to whoever, there are three sides to selling this product that we have. On one side, we need to know who is it that we're trying to sell to. For luxury, it's the affluent, right? But it's more specific than the affluent. But the affluent luxury buyers are who we're trying to go after. And so the second side of this triangle is the message. What's your message that you are delivering to them? And for many luxury buyers and sellers, we need to have an authoritative message. We need to be the authority message. And then finally, Dan says you need to know what type of media. And so think about that for a moment as we look at this triangle. Who are you trying to market to? What's the message to that person? And what type of media will you use? I mentioned during my presentation that while I was before I came to Dallas and I was doing research for this presentation, I was researching a lot of just luxury keywords for agents and brokerages to see what are they doing. And there was one lady who was the only one I found who was doing something that I want you and I to do, okay? And that is to have a lead magnet. And we'll talk about lead magnets in a moment. But this specific lady had a lead magnet that said, want a free price evaluation. Now, I'm not picking on her, and if you're watching this or happen to be in our audience, I just want you to know that, is that the right message that audience would want to hear? So when you think about who is it you're marketing to, you need to also think about the message. I don't know if they're so concerned about a free price evaluation, but I think they would probably be interested in a private briefing or a private market report or a private update about your zip code. I think and I'm just throwing items out there, but you and I need to know what's the message that's going to resonate with them. So who is it you're marketing to? What's the message you want to share with them? And then what type of media so that we can get or gain their attention. Something that you really need to spend some time thinking about. Maybe providing information to ChatGPT or Claude. Maybe providing data from your marketplace so that you can find out more information. Because I'm telling you what, the big brand names who market to the affluent, they know exactly the demographics about their folks, and they can tell you that information. And so that needs to be our first order of business. Now, why is this important? Because what I want to show you is how can we drive traffic through online media into a funnel. In other words, we want to have leads coming into the funnel, which will turn into prospects that we can communicate with and help them get to know, like, and trust us. Because remember, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, who will then be our clients and customers and allow us to make some money. And we really want to work with people that want to work with us. We want the right target market that we're going after. We don't want to deal with people we don't have fun working with. And so it's so important that we reach the right client. Now, I put this up in Dallas to say, okay, from an online marketing perspective, if you had a $197 offer and you wanted to make $100,000, you need to sell 507 of those specific products, and you make 100 grand. Kind of cool, isn't it? Well, Myron Golden, a guy I watch on YouTube who deals in very high-end offers, he said, if you put a 0 out in front of your offer, and you run that same scenario, you now only need to find 50. So you just take the 0 from the 500 that we needed and move it up to your offer price, and look what happens. We don't need as many people, do we? Add another 0, and now we only need 5 sales. The point of the exercise is find the people you want to work with and do business with. I can tell you from my own online coaching with real estate agents that the $48 and the $97 students are a pain to work with. But if I have someone who pays me the fee that I'm worth and I can work with them and help them, I am so much more happier, and they are happier because we're both working on the same page. Now, we've got to be careful as we go down this road, and it's just a little forewarning for us that one of the mistakes that a lot of people will make is thinking that anytime we start using online marketing or pay-per-click, that it's like a lottery machine and we're going to be winning all this business and money. But the reality is, as I found out with my online real estate school, you can waste a lot of money. In fact, you can go broke because Google and Facebook want to make money from you and I. So we got to do this carefully. And if you don't have a marketing strategy, I want you to write down, John says, I have to have an online marketing strategy. So what is it? And my good friend Corky Hyatt would always say, stop, stop. I don't care how far and how long you've been going down that road, turn around and go back. Except Corky would say it in her country twang voice that was always much more effective. But if you don't have a marketing plan, or if you have one and it's not working, let's blow it up and start over, okay? Because we want to have success. And we really need to think about this triangle and determine, who do we want to market to? Who is it that needs our product that we want to work with? What's our message? And remember, it's not going to be the same message for the type of person we're looking for. You don't want to have a luxury brand real estate in a pop-up box for a free price evaluation. Personally, I don't think that's going to move the needle. But there are things, and I'll show you some items here shortly that might. And then we need to figure out what's the media that will best suit these types of clients and the message we want to provide. So it's all about lead generation. It's all about trying to attract clients through a lead magnet, or as I like to say, we want to go fishing, okay? In fact, we can put many fishing hooks out on our website or the internet or through our social media. But we've got to have the right tools in our toolbox. So I'm going to take you down this path to show you some things that I think would be very, very interesting for you to use. But I want us to think outside the box and move forward. So this is about where my presentation went haywire, so we're going to hopefully move through without any issues, and I can show you some ways to fish and to create lead magnets to get more clients and customers. So if you're ready to go fishing, let's go and take a look at some things. So I was able to show you this slide, I believe, before we ran into some trouble, and it's my Global Real Estate School website. And so I have lots of students who come to my website and they're interested in getting a career in real estate, and I created a lead magnet. Now, this is the page you go to if you're interested in my lead magnet, and notice it's all about living the life you've always dreamed of. And I speak this language because many of the people who sign up for my school will sign up over the weekend or sign up on Monday. I had several people sign up yesterday, on Sunday, and over the weekend. And so they're looking for something better. They're looking for a different type of a career. And so on my website, about a fourth of the way down on the page and several other pages, places on the website, is my lead magnet. And with my lead magnet, there are two important sentences I want you to look at on this page. How to pass the exam, because that's a pain point a lot of my clients have. And the bottom one is and generate income in your first 90 days. The two biggest pain points that most students have. When they click on the free ebook, they give me their name and email, they go into my database, and I've caught a fish, okay? 20% of the people, plus or minus, who download that free ebook that I'm able to stay in touch with through email, or I can do that through text, depending on how I want to, will sign up for my school. 20% plus or minus. And so once I've connected and caught the fish, I need to then get them to know, like, and trust me. So I think putting a video as a thank you message is always good. I deliver what they want, and now I'm able to do the next step, which is the biggest secret that many people fail to do once they go out fishing online, and that's to follow up. You got to follow up with your folks. And so I put them into my database, and this looks like a bunch of gobbledygook, but all this is telling you is, or showing you, is that my CRM will generate an email, wait a day, generate a new email, wait a day or 2 days, and so forth and so on, until number one, they've spit the hook out of their mouth and they don't want to do business with me, which is fine, because we only want to do business with people who want to work with us, right? Or number two, they buy the product. If they don't buy and they don't spit the hook out of their mouth, in other words, they don't unsubscribe from the emails, I can still try to stay in touch with them and hopefully convert them in the future. And so I have different types of lead magnets and different ways to capture information. And when I capture the data from someone, I've caught a fish. And what's interesting is we can now actually follow what they're doing in the emails. And this is a crazy little diagram that I drew with a friend of mine that just shows what happens if they click on certain links and so forth and so on. And now I can communicate with them the way they want to be communicated with. Here's what's very interesting about this. When you're able to talk to your clients and customers the way they want to be talked to or have the message delivered to them, you're now delivering a 5-star concierge service. And remember, I've said this several times, but these are cold leads that we're attracting. Cold leads need to get to know us, and they need to get to like us. They then will begin to trust us. The cool part about this is once you and I build this out It's all on autopilot. And I don't care if you're at the beach or you're at the coffee shop, you're now targeting the right people, getting them into your funnel, and staying in touch with them, communicating with them so that you're going to hit the bullseye. Maybe not every time, but quite a bit of your time. So you got to promote your business. It's online, it's cold leads. We got to get our name out there. And so how can we do that? Well, one of the ways we can do that is with AI. But here's the thing that I believe most people do wrong with AI. They don't craft the right prompt. To me, the prompt is everything. And some of you might be saying, well, John, what do you mean the prompt? It's the data you give to AI. It's how you ask it what you want in return. So if you don't give the right information or in the correct way to AI, you might still get some information where you say, wow, that's amazing. But if you craft the prompt correctly, AI can just absolutely blow your mind. So I have an acronym called CRAFT, and each one of these letters represents a word that I want you to remember. First of all, the C stands for context. Tell AI who you are and what you're doing. Tell it the results you want. I want to find global buyers and sellers from this country or these countries. And then who is your target audience? Finally, format, and then what's the tone and time limits? So if you use craft, and I did this for a friend of mine from Saudi Arabia, and it actually gave me the way, this was my craft prompt I gave it. It gave me a wonderful email, and I'm able to connect and work with individuals in a much better way. So just remember, it's really all in the prompt. The prompt is so important. So let's talk about a marketing plan and some things you can do, okay? I want you to think about repurposing content that is out there. A lot of our associations, and a lot of times there is information from the Chamber of Commerce or other places that we can repurpose. And so here's an example of the South Florida housing market produced by the Miami Realtors. And this is a February 2026 edition. Really a great little report, lots of data. It has lots of information. It's a number of pages long, but it's really a great report that we can use. However, I'm thinking, would my clients really want to read that much information? Or is there a way I could craft my message to provide a different type of report? So I just went in and I said, you are a luxury real estate market analysis and advisor. Here's my goal: to review the attached monthly housing report for a specific zip code and create a concise, high-level market brief that I can share with high net worth buyers and sellers. My audience is affluent clients who want clear insights, not technical data. They care about trends, opportunities, and what it means for their investment decisions. The format and feeling, I want it to be short, polished summary, 150 to 250 words with a strong opening headline, 3 to 5 key insights or trends, and a brief, what this means for you section. Well, the tone and time needs to be sophisticated, confident, and easy to understand. Avoid jargon. Make it feel like a private client briefing, not a technical report. So when I do that, here is what AI gave me. and I'm using an AI program called Claude. And when you read this briefing, it's absolutely amazing. So it also gave it to me in a PowerPoint because I turned right around and said, why don't you give this to me in a PowerPoint version? I'd really like that. And so now I actually have a PowerPoint I took the PowerPoint, saved it as a PDF, a portable document format, and I used this program here, Flip HTML5. Now I upload it to Flip, and Flip actually gives me a digital magazine that I can provide to my clients. And again, I used an AI tool called Claude, and Claude can actually provide some really cool things. Now, I have a little website that I'm actually working to provide this website. It's called Live a Nice Life, and I'm using it for the French Riviera, but you know what? Miami's the American Riviera, and so I'm actually using this to find clients and customers that I can either help in the south of France or the south of Florida. I'm a licensed Florida broker as well, but I have a lead magnet. You can see the lead magnet there at the top, how to avoid the 7 costly mistakes that ruin American expats' French dream. When they click on that, they give me their name and information. Hey, I've caught a fish. And once I catch the fish, I'm able then to deliver them the content, and I can also take that and follow up, help them get to know, like, and trust me so that I can do business with them. Now you'll notice with Flip HTML, there's the ability for me to add a chat feature. In fact, I added a little chat mascot, as you could see over on the bottom right, who has a French flag in one hand you cannot see and a baguette in the other. But I've loaded all of this information up into my chat bot so that it knows how to answer any question a person might want to ask it. And you and I can do the same thing with any kind of digital magazine. When I was talking earlier about a French report, this is the other lead magnet on my website. This is a lead magnet that's a briefing about what's going on the French Riviera. You see, from my take, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but through my research and from my knowledge, most of the people I know looking on the French Riviera, they have lots of tax questions. There's a lot more things they're more interested in than a free price evaluation. So the message is different. Claude can actually help me deliver that in a different format, and I can use Flip HTML to put that into a digital magazine with its own separate chatbot for that specific information and market. And now I'm delivering message in a concierge kind of way. And that's what I wanted you to think about, was how can we do that and deliver this so that people will begin to know, like, and trust us. And again, I use that terminology, know, like, and trust, a lot in this presentation because these are cold leads. They don't know you. Our sphere of influence, our network's easier to work with because they know you and me. But when we're taking leads off the internet, it's a whole different world and a whole different way that we have to warm them up and get them to trust us and to say, hey, I want to do business with that person. Okay? So first step, do some creative different things and use Claude, use HTML5. Go back to that. It's Flip HTML5. I knew I left a word off of there. I've been using that product for a long time, but with some of these tools, you can do amazing things. Now, here's what I want you to think about. John, is there a way for AI to build a workflow so that when the Miami report is released, I just press a button and all of my AI stuff goes to work, creates the brief, does the work, emails it out to the clients, and I'm still in bed asleep. The answer is yes. You can do that. Do you want to do that? Well, I don't know. I'd like to proof mine and double check, like I should have done when I did my presentation, but on the PowerPoint, to have downloaded it to my computer. So I don't know. Sometimes you may not want to allow the AI to go on and automate that workflow and do everything, but it can be done, and I wanted you to know that. So just remember, when you craft your prompt, AI will craft your message. Now, I know this is where we really ran into some trouble during my presentation, or I ran into some trouble during my presentation. And I remember there were only one or two people who had seen Notebook LM, and I'm telling you what, this is an amazing tool. So with Notebook LM, you can actually take a document and you can paste that information. There's my prompt that I'm looking for. And I'm just really wanting to find out more about becoming a global, international real estate. You know, how do you sell real estate on the Riviera? And I needed a blueprint. So what's really cool with Notebook LM is that I can do a mind map if I want to. So with the mind map, it actually will like show me all of the things that I need to do in order to create this blueprint. What's my, what are the things I need to do under context and scope? I'm going to target locations. What about my target audience? It's telling me all the things I need to understand. They value privacy. What about the strategy? I need marketing strategies. I need a brand positioning. I need content strategy. And it will continue to break those down even further in ways that I'm going to have to do. These are all goals. These are all on my to-do list. Now, I can also click on the video overview and it will create a marketing ultra luxury video.
Have you ever stopped and wondered how on earth you market a property that costs more than a private jet?
That
today,
Notebook LM created for me.
Incredibly exclusive, fascinating world of ultra luxury real estate marketing. So right off the bat, let's just get a sense of...
Now, what's really cool is that Google LM did that on its own. And I can use that to promote in my social media or do anything. So here is a report that the Miami Realtors produces periodically for their members. This is the 2024 International Homebuyer Transactions. I actually took this PDF and I uploaded it right into Google LM. It read the report. And now I say to Google LM,
the U.S. real estate market is cooling off for foreign investors.
Give me a video about it. So here it is.
It's smashing it. Today, we're going to decode what makes Miami a total global magnet for real estate. It's a true outlier. All right, let's just jump right in with a number that tells you almost everything you need to know.
Now, what I want you to know is all I had to do was upload the PDF. And I chose video overview, and that's what it gave me. Now, let's click podcast or audio overview and find out what it does. So once I upload the PDF, here's what happens.
Today, we're opening up a really interesting data set. We're looking at the South Florida real estate market.
Specifically international buyers.
Exactly. We're zeroing in on those international home buyer deals across Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and Martin counties.
Yeah, and we're using the latest numbers, the 2024.
Now, I don't know about you, but that's not a bad sounding podcast. And all I had to do was upload the PDF. I'm repurposing content. And guess what? I click one button and I say, can you give this to me in another language? And listen.
Y bienvenidos. Hoy nos vamos a sumergir en el mercado inmobiliario de Miami específicamente en los compradores internacionales.
Exacto, y para eso tenemos un informe muy reciente, muy interesante.
So, very interesting on some of the things you can do. I took several of the high-end condos for sale from the multiple listing service. This is all I did. I uploaded the multiple listing service brochures, gave it to Google LM, and listened to the
Excellent deep
podcast.
dive. So today we're diving straight in. Our mission really is to get under the hood of South Florida's ultra luxury real estate. We're talking financial DNA, architectural choices, the whole package. We've got the actual listings for 4 places.
Yeah,
Ranging from what, about $8.9 million way up to nearly $17 million.
that's right. Almost $17 million. And these aren't just any listings. They give us a really good snapshot. We've got 2 brand new builds in Fort Lauderdale, one massive place in Hallandale Beach that's been totally redone, and then a huge Miami penthouse. So this is
So that's what you can do with AI and data sheets from your multiple listing service. You can even use programs like Runway ML to make these amazing videos. You can upload some of your own video content or your own images, and it will actually do the rest. 11 Labs is a place where you can have your voice cloned, and I've done this, and I actually created my own audible book. So this is a book I wrote, and now you're
the
going to
owner of a real estate firm,
hear my
manager of a branch office,
my cloned
or
voice.
team leader.
I think it doesn't
Did you
sound too
enter
bad.
Real estate management with a written business plan?
So there are so many things you can do today, and so many ways to reach out and to get people to know you, to like you, and trust you. This was a video that I did on Zoom with a friend of mine, and by using this program called Descript, it will actually create reels for me to share on social media. So AI can do some amazing things. I have lots of AI tools that I'm going to share with you in this presentation, but we really need to think outside the box here. And this allows you, now I don't know if that's to the sign up for this, but I think you already have that. But I'm using Articulate, and don't panic. I'll make sure that you get all the tools that are in the program. With Articulate, I can translate this into other languages as well, but look how I took Articulate, which is normally a course delivering software program, and I really tried to think outside the box. So I helped my friend in France, and we provide some properties. I think I mentioned this at the conference, and this is a brochure of a property from the south of France here, and I'll let you take a look at this, but it actually allows you to take the content, and it looks great on a mobile phone, but deliver this to customers and clients where the video is packaged up in this. I can do 360-degree photos. I can add really cool, interesting audio brochures. If I have an audio with the client, I can do that. I can do hotspots to show them other places on the property grounds, and then link them out to a really cool book or even my flip book that can all be done right from Articulate. So very cool program. I do it on high-end properties for those we have in France, and hopefully soon for some in the Miami area. But it's just all about having some marketing ideas and ways that you can use those on social media, paid advertising, direct mail. Don't forget that. That's a great way to get clients and customers through email, podcasting, YouTube videos, and then drive those leads, those fishes, those code fish, when you catch them, put them in your funnel, and then warm them up where they can get to know you through your collateral, through your resources and your tools, so that you can turn those prospects into customers. And naturally, we got to test all of this. That's what the A/B testing is. Sometimes one item might not work as well for something else, but we have to track that. And so it's very important we spend a lot of time tracking, because if we're going to put lead magnets out there, we want to ensure that our return on our investment is going to be correct. So we're always testing, we're always looking and fine-tuning and figuring out what works, so that while you're asleep and someone's out online on the internet, a cold prospect, they're interested in what you have. And they click on it. And then they get to know, like, and trust you, and you can close a transaction. Thanks to AI helping you out. So it doesn't matter where we're at, what location, AI, through our own tools, and I want you to remember that we've got to play a huge role in that ourselves. We can craft a plan, and we can help people live the dream they've always wanted to live, and then have some great business. Now, I always like to close with this, because I want you to wait. There is one more AI tool that's pretty interesting called Suno. It's a lot of fun. And with Suno, we actually can create our own music. So I created a fun little song last November for the Miami Congress, and it's all about the Miami vibe and having a way to do business with Miami real estate. So if you're ready and you want to stand up and dance after watching this entire video, here you go. Hey, I want to say thank you again for your patience during my presentation, but I hope this was helpful for you. If you need more help, reach out to me. I would be more than happy to assist you in making your online marketing a real successful blueprint. And you will have a great success. So the song is on the website I'm going to send you as well. But anyway, thank you so much.